Hi guys, Storm here with another video. So I just wanted to show you guys that I looked it all through YouTube. No one else yet has it. Now I got this about 3 days ago, so I should have been posting this earlier, but because of certain circumstances and grinding for this, I just like did it, and then as soon as I did it, I passed out, and I was just like, oh my god, because I just couldn't get to sleep for like 2 days getting this done. So anyway, here you guys go. I managed to get all of the ribbons done. The last two were really monotonous, getting the buying armor boxes, ammunition boxes. 30 armor boxes, dude, that's insane. It's really hard to do, especially with the lack of money and lack of good teammates, because you got randoms, you got no micers, you got cancerous toxic trollers, you got all of the above. But yeah, the armor plates, bro, each of them is like ridiculous amount. Best way to do it is getting supply runs and then equipping your hardline as your perk. Also, if you actually get good teammates, it's recommended to have someone on your team run point man, at least one person. That way, whoever's running point man, you get everyone on your team gets more money for each contract you complete. So it's pretty awesome. But again, that's if you're running a team. If you're not, then you're kind of screwed, and you just have to play for yourself. Say you're gonna get a loadout crate and basically troll the trollers and end up, just buying what you need, like armor crates and munitions crate. The best way you can do it is just say, hey, yo guys, let's buy a crate. So technically then you're not lying because you are buying a crate, but it's an armor crate or a munitions crate versus a loadout crate. So there you go, that's one way. But anyway, here, let me show you guys what you've been wanting to see. The emblem, piece de resistance. Look at that. Let me see if I can get a closer up image of it. There you go, look at it. He's got eyes compared to the S510 or S59. It's got eyes, it's got those silver trimmings on the four corners. Everything's animated. You got the star spinning, and then the black little jetstone in the middle of the crown wasn't there. He's got little jetstones that weren't as irises that are there now. It's just all popping out at you. It's really cool, and so yeah. I've checked all the YouTube channels. No one else seems to have gotten this yet, so I seem to be first in the world. Plus, I did it 3 days ago. Technically, I don't even think it's 3 days ago, because it was like it released the season, and then 2 days after I had managed to get that. So, however long that was ago. But yeah, the only way to really get this, especially if you don't own the game like me, which I think is a pretty big achievement, is doing the multiplayer challenges first, focusing only on them. Anything that you're saying, okay, this won't work. Just so you know, guys, certain challenges you would think you would get in Warzone or Plunder, you can't actually get in, not only because it's glitchy, but because of, I don't know, it should be in Warzone. So regardless of whether it's a rule or if it's been glitchy, it doesn't make any sense. Some of these are just glitchy, and it doesn't matter how. Like, for example, if I bought like 6 armor plate boxes a game because I just got a shit ton of money, it would only count 2 per game. Now I don't know if that's just for me or who it's for, but only 2 would matter out of the 6 I got, or out of the 4 I got, however many more than 2 that I got, which is kind of bogus for like getting the munitions crates and the armor things for the store, buying them. Let's see, where is it? I'll go for each one. Launcher kills. Multiplayer is really good. The weekend multiplayer. And by the way, a lot of these challenges you can do while you're doing other challenges. So if it's like do contracts, well then do plunder while running ghost. So that's the best way to do it efficiently. Plate shopper, that was obnoxious to do. It's monotonous. Trophy system, not hard. You just keep throwing that out. Especially playing plunder, easy as hell. UAV, again, just spam all the money you get in plunder. That does work in plunder. A lot of these also work in multiplayer, but it's just easier. Some of these are just easier. Like getting UAVs, much easier in plunder. This was kind of difficult, especially reviving toxic players that either were trash at the game and talking shit to me, who was outliving them. It's like I really didn't want to, but then to get this challenge done, you gotta pick and choose your battles. And of course, as soon as I buy them back, they die again, and then they leave and rage quit and saying, "Oh, you're fucking shit," da da da, you know, whatever. This one's easy. You can just do it with the starting pistol if you're playing Warzone. It does count towards that. Free to play, you know, judgments. Easy. UAVs do count. It doesn't matter if they don't kill. They are kill streaks. That one's easy again. That could, you know, you get this really early on, so you're not the one that this armor plate box was. I should have probably gotten it earlier on, but I just was trying to do the multiplayer, so I didn't focus as much. I was like, multiplayer challenges, because once the multiplayer weekend is gone, I'm fucked. So it was a good decision. It was just monotonous regardless whether I did it earlier on or not. But it's good that I did it. So now, because multiplayer weekend is no longer active, and I think it's the beginning of the first month of each season, like the beginning of each season, multiplayer starts. So yeah, shotgun kills, pretty easy. This is actually a great class I have up for my shotgun. Now, I think there shouldn't be any more than 3 shotgun classes I'd be running. It would probably be this one, because it's the most like the Brecci, and seems to carry the most rounds, and just overall it's better than the other skinnier one, my personal opinion. You know? And then, I mean, that's good, but because it's just lacking in range, you would have to be right up in their face, and as soon as you do kill one, unless you have like the drum mag, you're not going to be able to kill the next one. You have to reload, and then you're kind of screwed. It kind of goes with the same thing with the M13 10 rounds. Yeah, you'll kill one guy, but by the time you're done reloading, you know, you'll have to go on to the next guy, and he could already be shooting you. So even if you had sleight of hand and you got it done really quickly, you know, if you're trying to take out like an entire team, then that means you're gonna have to like not miss any shots, and that means like getting all headshots for 2, 2, 2, 2, which would be 8, and most people can't do that. So yeah. So this is the best class up I found if you're looking for just damage and range. Now I don't know if the game is glitched. I don't know if it's just the rules. I don't know if the rules apply or don't apply, because sometimes it says it does and sometimes it doesn't. It's fucking glitchy. It's like Glitch Ops 4, but a hell lot more wackier. So it does increase the range having a sight on the shotgun, but I don't know if the range of the pellets actually increase. So it says it does, but I don't know how accurate that is, because, you know, it could and maybe it couldn't. Now, if it does, then it doesn't matter whether you aim in or not. Or maybe the range only affects it if you are aiming in versus when you're not aiming in, and it's just there's no way to tell. You would have to really put this to an experiment, being able to own the full game, and then or being able to play private match, which as far as I know, even the full game doesn't have its own private match, but maybe I'm incorrect. I don't own the full game, so I don't know. So yeah, it's like, why are you going to add something that increases the range? But on a shotgun, it's like, it's not going to make the pellets go further, but whatever. Maybe it's just a fluke, you know, whatever. Dragon Breath rounds, really incredible. Like, they take down the armor if you just shoot one shot and just let it sit for a while, and the next shot, you know, it either kills them or makes them one shot for the next shot. So it's really, really good. Now, besides the monolithic suppressor, that is the best suppressor out of all the other suppressors for damage and range and all that. But for certain weapons like the shotgun, for example, or the colossal suppressor for the Odin, those, you know, it's better than monolithic. So unless it's a custom, normally if it's a custom muzzle, usually for that individual weapon, it's usually better for that weapon compared to it. Otherwise, monolithic, if it doesn't, is the best. But yeah, compared to this, yeah, look, it takes down the range, takes down the accuracy compared to this one, which ridiculously tighter bullet spread, damage range, sound suppression. It's really good. So yeah, and I just have this because then I get 2 extra bullets, and then if you wanted to increase it further without Dragon Breath rounds, you can do tube extension, which, look at that. It's hitting the muzzle at this point. It's ridiculous, right? I don't need that extra much. I'd rather have Dragon Breath rounds, which do a ridiculous amount of... Now, I don't know a ridiculous amount of guns, but I wonder if it's called 12 gauge shotgun, because that's the gauge is where the shells are held, and 2 extra shells, which would make it 12. You have the potential of having that type of shotgun become a 12 gauge, meaning 12 holster, barrel, you know, whatever holds the the shells, and then you can have up to 12. Because right, I have 10. If I swap this to the tube extension, that would have 12. So it's whatever. And moving right along to next challenge. That's pretty easy. Oh, these all are pretty easy. They're either monotonous or easy. Also easy. Get 50 meals with... Yeah, this one I tried in Warzone and tried in Plunder. The weapon pickup, it does not work. You have to get it in multiplayer. So that's a big multiplayer weapon pickup. So just so you guys know, multiplayer only. Doesn't matter if it says get kills with other weapons. Also, here's a huge hint. It should say get kills with weapons from enemy players or from enemies or whatever. Because I've tried it, and whether it's the game being super glitchy or what, all my friends that have tried it, they also say it does not work unless you're picking up enemy weapons. So it should just say enemies, because I've tried it picking up from my other players, meaning including my teammates, and it did not count. Now again, it could just be the game glitching because it's so fucking buggy and the developers don't give two shits. You know, sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, and like just throw their hands up in the air and say, who gives a fuck, you know? That's pretty easy, especially during Plunder. You know, even though this is Warzone, it just either game Warzone. Otherwise, we'll say Battle Royale. Assault Rifle, easy, easy. This one I would literally wait on the edge. Like for example, I was in the soccer field in Plunder or Battle Royale, and I was playing solo the back-ends, and I just sit at the edge in the soccer field and jump in. Loot. And I wouldn't use any of my armor because that would just disappear right away, right? Save all my armor plates, go in, out, especially with some of the challenges for my operators that involved, you know, staying in the gas. So it's like, you know, two birds with one stone. I'm all about efficiency. Did that. Once I got it, finally said 40 seconds, 45 seconds, then I would just armor up. Armor up! Then survive without being down. Easy, alright. Headshots. With the sniper, especially when you're pulling in that rack, not the easiest. I'd recommend what still counts as a sniper. It's a marksman rifle. So I personally would recommend not this one if you can't do it, if you're not an amazing quickscoper. I would do the SKS. It's really good. Acts like a semi-automatic assault rifle. I think in World at War it was considered an automatic, semi-automatic assault rifle. But you know, certain games, you know, now in this game mode, you know, the AUG originally in Modern Warfare 2 was an LMG. Put it as a assault rifle, and now it's a submachine gun. They just no one can make up their mind. Look at this, an AUG. For everyone remembers that big honking AUG with a green, like not that green, that's like a gray green. They had like a AUG with that, and it wasn't like a 9mm because that looks like a 9mm round. It was like a curved LMG round, you know, curving in. It was thick. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, it was basically like that. It had the round like that, but thicker and shorter and more curvier. And yeah, so really good for marksman rifle kills and what have you. Alright, headshots. That's, yeah. Downtown. I don't know why it says contract specialist. They've had things that have been previous get things in contracts in downtown. I don't know why it's called specialist. That's threw me off, especially when around this time I'd also heard that there was a specialist thing where you can pick up like a specialist item that gives you all the perks in the game, and that's with doing the Easter egg in the now newly opened stadium. And again, you're going to need a dream team that's fully communicating, and I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, yo, don't tell me what to do. You know, I know what I'm doing." Or but it's the same people that's saying, "Oh yeah, don't tell me when to pull up my parachute. I know what I'm doing." And you know, if we're going to the AFK kills at the end of the thing, like, yeah, well, I'm gonna drop early. I know what I'm talking about. And then they end up killing themselves in the red zone because of the momentum and the way the thing works. If you pull out early, or if you try stopping versus going straight down, and if they're not familiar with it, so many times they're like, "I know what I'm doing," and then they do the opposite that tells them that they really don't know what they're doing. And it's like, it's not insulting their intelligence. It's just that if you've played with them, and if you've played with a lot of people that say they know what they're doing, and their gameplay tells you otherwise, then it's not. You're just being careful. You're helping out, and since they're not your dream team, it's better to tell them than not to tell them. Anyway, moving on. This was a pain, but I did it in multiplayer, so yeah. If you're trying to get that in multiplayer, the best way to do it is grab a car, preferably something that has a wider reach, because the ATV can push them to the side, so even if you knock them down, they'll get pushed to the side somehow. I don't know if it's the temporary invincibility as you're getting knocked down, but yeah, I'd recommend the Rover, the four-wheel, open-ended Rover, not the minivan. But the minivan would also work as it's wide enough, and it would not push them to the side. It would actually run them. Once they get down, they're just going to get run over at 1-2. Hipfire kills. Yeah. Pick up 7 weapons. Yeah, this one was glitchy. It doesn't matter how many weapons it picked up. It wouldn't register half the time. Yep, just got that done. That was the last one I did. Because I'd rather do, get supply run challenges, do the armor box, which is more expensive, than do this one, which is least. Just doing, hardest. Then I only have to deal with the easy stuff later. It's all about efficiency. Melee kills. Kill streaks. That one's pretty easy. A lot of these are easy, but. Now, I don't think it means your smoke, it just says near smoke. Now, there was one time when I was playing one of the multiplayer maps, I forget what it's called, but it has a downed something, and it's just like a scrapyard, I think it's called, or I don't know. It has a lot of airplanes, there's an L-shaped plane, whatever, and there's black smoke that isn't a smoke grenade, and I got a kill towards that, and no one had thrown a smoke grenade that game, and it increased my counter for getting kills near enemies near smoke grenade. Or near smoke. So I don't think it necessarily means smoke grenade, it means any type of smoke that blocks your vision. So I don't know if that was a glitch or whatever it was, but it did count when I was near the black smoke in that map, and I hadn't gotten a single kill near anyone who had thrown a smoke grenade. So maybe it was a glitch, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But it worked for me, so might want to try it out. That's easy, again, AFKs if you aren't already just sneaking up behind people with dead silence. That's a lot of fun. Like, where did he come from? Yep, dead silence. I mean, if you're running like tuned up, I mean this already goes really quickly, but if you're running tuned up and you're just running like a stealthy MP5 class, you're set. Like, I have a specific stealth class, like, now it depends on if you're going super stealthy or just like, sprint to fire, like close quarters, because you could do super stealthy, you could do super range, it's whatever. I did like a little bit of everything. I mainly focused on down sight speed. But see, you have faster melee, and this one makes it a one-hit melee. So it's just really overpowered. I call it Berserker. Looks, bloody. This one for managing my hip fire more, aim down sight speed, and there you go. So yeah, pretty badass. And then without that, it looks like really old-fashioned, like those big barrels in the old days where they either were tube-like, versus like barrel-like, or they had like a trumpet-looking end to it. Hey, if you take this off, look at that. It looks weird. Yeah, you see the barrel inside, but it's just like ridiculously like the muzzle. You see the muzzle inside, but the barrel like overshoots the muzzle, so it's like, wait, what? Yeah. So it just looks really cool, but really stupid at the same time. Anyway. Yeah. And let's see here. Secondary kill, secondaries, yep. Recon, yep. Assists, again, I don't think that works in anything but multiplayer. I didn't get any assists in, Plunder or anything, but I wasn't playing it that much, but even when it did say I got an assist, it would not count towards this, so again, it could be glitch. Maybe it works half the time, maybe not. I'm seriously doubting it didn't, because every time I did get an assist, It did not work. So you have to understand, a lot of people threaten to hack me because I fucking destroy them, whether it becomes to quickslipping or whatever. Like, oh, you're fucking cheating, you're trash, you know, and then they fucking, you know, try to hack. And I have been booted off the line. I have actually been hacked, and they've hacked into Sony, and they've pretended to be a moderator, and because the moderator is basically like a little mini dictator, little mini Hitler. Once you've been, unless you're like a super big star, it's almost impossible to get unbanned once you've been banned by moderators. So like, let's say you got someone who's toxic and they have a moderator job at Sony. They literally can ban people left and right and no one's going to question them. They have unlimited, unsolicited power that they don't have to go through anybody. You know, all they have to do is a generic computerized reason, keep it vague, and they'll say, well, we're not going to tell you what it's for, and if they do, there's no way taking it back unless you're super huge, you know, and you're a big star. You're not getting unbanned for that. But yeah, moving along, this is really easy. It says 500 health. That does not mean 500 times you have to stim. Okay. So yeah, really good is when you're like one shot away, and especially if you're running the perk that makes you activate stims faster, and if you're running the regen thing that increases, regenerates your tactile and equipment. Really easy. Especially if you're like on plunder, or if you're just in an area that you know they're going to be. For example, there's only one side of if you're on A side in that little shoot house. There's on A side you can shoot. If you aim it at the floor on B, you can get it on A side. But if you're on C side, it's just going to blow up. There used to be a way where before the update that you could do it on C side, because the rocket would just shoot straight up, but now there's more of a curve, so if you try to shoot it on C side, it's going to blow up in your face and you're going to get, you know, down. So you'll still be able to aim it, you'll still be able to shoot it, but it will backfire at you because the wall is so close to your face on C side. So you want to do it on A side, aiming it at B, especially when your teammates already got it B, knowing that the enemy's going to try to go for to recap B, and then that's when you get a double kill. It's really easy. It's all about predicting where the enemy's going to go and putting yourself in their shoes. What are they going to do based on what's happening? All about time management and trying to figure out what's going to happen before it happens. You know, just preemptive, predictive thinking. Speed long shots, again, really easy if you have a sniper. Especially the Kar 98, it's really overpowered, especially if you just have the right class setup with it. Yep, that's easy. Very easy. Because, I mean, that way everyone's going to want to run 5 attachments who wouldn't put on all 5 attachments. So everything else is just monotonous. Obviously, you do want to do from least to greatest, hardest to easiest. So you won't go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attachments. If it lets you, based on when it's unlocked. Yeah, that's easy. That one's really good, especially if you're running SMG. Shotgun too, but you have to like really get accurate shots, especially if you're hip firing it. Or aiming down sight preferably, but like hip fire is the best way to do so. Yep. Shotgun up. Now, for some reason, it doesn't count if you do an assassination. That is a point blank kill, but it's not going to register a point blank kill. They mean a point blank kill with a weapon, not melees. Also, melees don't count. So assassinations and melees do not count for point blank, even if you're right in front of their face. It will not count. It has to be a weapon or something. Even if they're one shot and you use a tactical grenade to finish them off, as long as you're right next to them, it will count. This is all easy. Now see, this one's another glitchy one. So for example, this will work on all game modes, Battle Royale and multiplayer. However, you cannot hack it. Now, actually, no. See, that's hard to say. So this one, it's glitchy on 2 ends. 1, you spot it, you can still destroy it. It will still count towards your challenge. 2, if you hack it, this would work half the time. Where if you hacked it and still shot it, it would work. Now, I think it maybe determining on the time duration where the game's trying to process, like, wait, is it your equipment or is it their equipment? Because you've hacked it now. You hack it and then you shoot it immediately. It did work for me. Other times where if I hacked it and I just waited a long while and then I shot it and that was the only equipment I shot, it would not count. So maybe it's just the time duration where the game's trying to process like whose stuff is what, you know. So I think that's the most likely scenario. Or it could just be glitchy. The game's glitchy as fuck, as I told you. I'll explain why a little bit afterwards. So yeah, if you hack it and then the enemy gets killed by that equipment, even if the equipment by killing the enemy is destroyed, it will not count towards that. Now, if you shoot the equipment and it kills the enemy, that doesn't matter because you're just shooting the equipment. The equipment's destroyed. It doesn't matter if it gets killed or not because you're destroying the equipment. So now the equipment itself blowing it up itself won't count, which is stupid, but whatever. Easy, easy. Easy. Easy stuff. Pretty easy. Now, again, the best way to do this is vehicles with trophy systems on it. If you're going to put trophy system, for example, if you're running the truck, do not put the trophy system in the bed of the truck, because if they shoot your front shield, the trophy system, because it's going to shoot where it's visible, because the front end is taller than the bed of the truck, the missile will not be deflected by the trophy system. Now, it's being from the side, fine, but if this is like old school, you know, outlaw, high noon, you know, someone straight ahead of you, right in front of you, and the trophy system's in the bed, not visible to the enemy, not visible to the rocket shoots you straight in the front, whether that be the grill of your truck or the windshield of your truck. Sometimes it's glitchy, I don't know, but at least for me and my friends, the rocket will blow up the truck. It will not be deflected by the trophy system. So the best way to do it is put the trophy system at the highest altitude of the vehicle. Sometimes it's not possible. If you're talking about the Rover, you'd have to do it just right because it's got like a grate covering the top. So that the best way for that is going to be the hood, you know, like a little hood ornament. If you can do it just right, fine. But usually people don't have enough time. And if you're having someone who's a spaz and doesn't know how to fucking drive, yet they want to drive, then that's just going to get thrown off. And it's very funny how everyone wants to put the trophy system in the hood of it's not even a hood. It's like a little curve of the nose of the helicopter. Never once has the trophy system been able to be put on the front of the helicopter because there's nowhere for it to rest. Now, realistically, if it had some sort of adhesive, and this game was even more realistic than it is, quote unquote, then yeah, of course it would, I guess. But it's not, so it's going to think any flat surface, the front of that curve of the nose of the helicopter is not a flat surface. There's nowhere for it to rest. So, no. What you want to do is, and people say, oh yeah, if you just put it on the nose, nope, it just gets deflected. You're a retard. When it's moving, no, don't do that. You're retarded. Don't do that. Putting on the sides where you can jump, the little leg panels, the panels that allow you to rest your legs when you're sitting down on it. Don't do it on those. You want to put it in the very center of the helicopter so it just doesn't bounce off or something, because it can bounce off. So it's not like the previous Black Ops 4 where you would put it on the leg, you know, the little rim legs, the landing gear legs. I don't know how to explain. Anything that's holding up the helicopter, those little rubars, you know, metal things that are letting it touch down. The bottom of the helicopter, basically. Not those, because those are trophy systems with little balls that you could roll. This one's like a big old standing camera holder icon thing. So you just want to throw it in the bed, the smack center. You have to go to the side of it while it's standing still. You just aim it at the center. That's all you gotta do. Moving on. All these are easy. This is easier in Plunder. Killer. Oh, duh. Yeah, you're always gonna be killing enemies in any game mode. Plunder. Multiplayer, obviously, because you're going to be in more congested maps. It's not going to be as open as, you know, that. Plus, you're going to be more kills. Plus, responding. It's just going to be better because you're going to be respawn. Guy could be right in front of your face. Versus Plunder, yeah, everyone's going to be respawning, but you have to take the time to, you know, dive down. So it's quicker in multiplayer for faster kills, more XP, etc. I personally did dual wield pistols on this because you can't really do that with a launcher. I mean, if you can, great. Not certain launchers, as far as I'm aware. It'd have to be the RPG, and you have to be right in their face, and I don't think that's feasible. It's not really efficient. So a pistol, because otherwise you have a knife. It's the secondaries are knife, pistol, launcher. You're not doing it the melee. You're not likely, if at all, to do it the launcher, so you're left with pistols. Now, as far as I'm aware, it does count as your secondary weapon, is if you have two primaries and your secondary primary versus your primary primary. Your first primary, which is what you start off with, your second is your reserve weapon. So that's what it's considering your secondary. So even if you have two primaries, your reserve weapon will be counted as your secondary. So whatever you want to put that as, it will count, as far as I'm aware, because when I was doing it, it did count. I wasn't using it for a lot of the time, but when I was using an overkill class, it was working. Again, it's machine guns running like a hipfire class with the Merc foregrip and the green sight. And if you're doing hipfire kills, you're main aggressive anyway, so you might as well. They're already gonna know where you're at. And in this game, it's so the aggressive system works. It's not so much like there's previous Call of Duties where some, suppressor. Excuse me. Suppressor, it was like more like, I don't know, like Solid Snake. It's just everything's more hidey and sneaky. This game is so, no matter what game mode you are, I mean, of course there's campers, but the suppressor just doesn't seem as efficient as it has in the previous games, because you had a suppressor, people would be looking around, you don't know where you are. In this game mode, it's just like they know where you are. If you're running a sniper with a silencer, they see that glint. And the bullets are very visible in this game. It's a lot easier to find people regardless of sniper suppressors versus other games. It's like, where the fuck did they go? Where'd he go, George? Unless you actually saw where the bullets were coming from, and that was harder in other games. Easy. Again, it's just basically like not getting a quad feed, but as close to it as it can get. One's 4 in the feed, one's just getting 4, doesn't have to be in the feed, because if someone else is getting kills as you, then it's gonna, congest the feed, and it's not gonna count 4 in it. So that's why it's different in quad. Vehicles, yeah, rocket launchers, Bettys. Again, your secondary. Hip fire. If you're running dual pistols, then you're already hip firing, and that actually surprisingly does work because you're hip firing. I mean, it would magic it would work too, but there's a lot of things you would imagine will work, and the game's just buggy as fuck, so it won't let you. Yep, that's easy. Now it says tuned up. You don't have to have it tuned up to get this done, but again, it makes it easier. It's kind of a weird name for it. And then yeah, that's it. Pretty easy. Sorry I made the long video. Just trying to help you guys on how to do it, letting you know about the glitches, and I wanted to let you know that, yeah, I am currently the most official first in the world to get Season 5, Rank 10 of Officer Progression and the emblem, as you can plainly see with the animation. Alright, I think that's it. I guess I could show you the mastery challenges I have. Just so you know, this one is super easy because you can change when multiplayer. You just change it out every time you die. You get a kill. Switch because you're able to edit your class mid-game, so you don't have to keep switching your class. You don't have to make a bunch of different classes with a bunch of different equipment. You can just edit that class, which I kind of like what they did in this game. The same class you were going to be running, your preferred class you're being running, and they just keep switching the equipment as soon as you get the kill with that equipment. Once you die. To respawn with that new class. Shipment is actually the easiest to get this, and it does seem like it gathers. It's not all in one game, as far as I'm aware. I think it just gathers in, some random location where it's not going to tell you how many is happening. Now, it could be all in one game. I'm not entirely sure, because it just doesn't tell you. There's no 0 out of 0, 0 out of 30, there's 0 out of 50. It's just going to keep in the memory. So, again, glitchy game. This one is sorry, my brother was playing on my PlayStation. He's got notifications on. Mortal Contract, and this one's actually you can do by yourself. You can do this one by yourself, which is pretty cool. And yeah, even though it says it, you know, that you have to do it with a team, you really don't have to do it with the team, especially if you're just playing, you know, solo buybacks. So it's easier because teammates you can always rely on, and 9 times out of 10, with as cancerous as Call of Duty has become, and all multiplayers have become, people are 9 times out of 10 going to be toxic, not teamwork. You know, just especially if you're playing randoms, everyone's like, they say one thing and they'll do another. So you really, unless you got someone who you can 100% rely on, it's just better to do it solo. It's easier with team, sure, but you have to have 100% your dream team. Will not fail you, will not contradict to some, so will not say one thing and do another. Dream team, you know, someone you can always rely on, a good friend. A lot of times that's hard to come by. You can send people friend requests, people can send you friend requests. You're more associates because a friend will have your back no matter what. By definition, a friend will be there for you. A friend will do things that qualify as friend qualities. But a lot of times, your friends are not your friends. They're more just people you like to play with occasionally with, or you need something from them. I have very few friends on here, not because of, you know, me or them, it's just who they are, that are like that. That's why there's a dream team. That's why there's the best of the best. So yeah, better to play solo to get this done. And it's cool because it's got that little green outline if you're doing the epics. The rares don't. They have that like foggy theater look to it, but the greens they look cooler. So yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, here's a big answer to a lot of people asking me this question, and because I'm someone who tries to find answers for friends and for people who want to know things, Activision has not released this, to the best of my knowledge, and from everywhere I looked, from all the people I've asked, from people who have contacts to Activision, no one has actually said anything because it hasn't been released. But this is my theory, and until it's proven otherwise, this is a fact. Kind of goes with science. Pluto was a planet, and it was a fact until it was no longer a fact. You know, that's kind of what science is. It seems that anyone of the Shadow Company is going to have that effect. Watch, I'll switch to him. It'll still have that effect. See that black and blue shadowy mist coming off of you, that fog? It's going to be emulating for your guys' character, so it's just anyone from Shadow Company. It will work with any of the other characters. No one has this. All the multiplayer people have played with, all the Warzone, no one has this one because they're just, you know, people are cheap, and because no one likes microtransactions. I'd imagine with as heavy as he looks, because he kind of looks like a mini Juggernaut suit, he's going to be stomping around. When I'm running with him, he stomps around louder. So any of the bigger guys, they're going to be louder, you know. So obviously, if you're wanting to be more of a sniper, you know, grass in the knoll, you know, having more camouflage, you're going to want black, you're going to dark, you know, gray, green, anything that would camouflage with your surroundings. So, you know, less bulky if you can. So like for example, this character's all black, but one of the things you can do with her is you can add more stuff to it, which further makes it cooler, sure. But because the armor doesn't actually make you have more health in this game, and since all of her variants are black, it's better to be slimming. She already has a smaller hitbox. Why increase the hitbox when, sure, the rest of it's black, but she's already black anyway. Not the skin color, but just the, you know, the visuals. So why have extra stuff when you can just not? So this is the best as far as darkness. If you want to hide in the shadow, she's the best for it. Because I'm probably one of the first people in the world, if not the first person in the world, to get 155. Because I just smashed to 155 by day... Oh, I think it was the first day. First day, and like leaning into the wee hours of the next morning. Like a day and a half. And it was able to... Maybe earlier, I don't know. Trying to be realistic though. I had gotten to 155. I had gotten all my battle pass things, got into this emblem. When you get this, you know you got it. So yeah, I'd gotten to that first. I got into all that, and I haven't seen a single person run that character, whether it be multiplayer, Warzone, Plunder, and I've played it all. No one's got that yet, so maybe I just, you know, went a little bit too try hard trying to be first in the world. But apparently, if, based on what I've seen, and no other YouTuber has it, I'm the first to get 155, the first to get that character because it comes to 155, first to complete the battle pass, and the first to get that as season 5 and on a animated emblem. So yeah, very cool. And I just don't see a point of having that Rook thing on, since it's kind of obvious. If you're 155, you're either close or you got it. Plus that character kind of tells you right away. And yeah, I think the Crow's cool to have, and it definitely goes with the Shadow Company-like thing, because the whole thing is based. The Battle Pass is all based on Shadow Company this time. I think it takes a little longer to do, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I think there's one character out of all these characters that actually has a longer time than 3, because I think it's all about 3 seconds, their final assassination animation, except for... No, it's not this one. It's one of the really obnoxious ones for the BLM movement, just trying to like make a statement. So, good guy, coalition, bad guy, allegiance, and of course, she would be here, of course. Yeah, she got herself running in an afro. Got your ghetto setup. I mean, you know, look at the shoes and the baggy, and she's, yeah. Anyway, of course, none of the females have S curl. They're trying to straighten their hair and make themselves look white, and it's like, why are you trying to do that? You know, you take what you will of that, but you know, everyone with a common sense will see where that's going, and can understand where I'm coming from. So yeah, her thing is also the longest. I mean, there's more badass ones out there, but it's so-so. It's you know, for her finishing move, foul play, it takes like an extra 0.5 seconds to have it get done, so it's just not worth it. Now, you would think if she were going to run a black cleric, you would have an all-black skin. Unfortunately, you don't, because then that would actually make you worth it. Because if you have like a ghillie suit, for example, if I'm running this guy, when you're playing multiplayer, his face is clearly visible. It doesn't matter if he has that. Like, if you're seeing him, if you're aiming down a scope, his big-ass white face, regardless of the camo, it's more shiny. I don't know if it's the visual effects of the game or whatever, but it's more visible. So unless, you know, if you're playing multiplayer, you're already, you know, rushing in anyway, but it's just, when you're zooming in a sniper scope, their big-ass face might as well be saying, I'm a light bulb, here I am, come get me. So the best way you want to do that is, yes, this, because it covers your back, and it's the best ghillie suit that you don't have to buy with your microtransaction. But, so he's got the best ghillie suit for free, and then he's got the best face cover-up, and overall green hiding, but his back is not like, and if you're running a launcher, that shit's gonna give you away too. It's gonna be a big ass thing poking out of your back. But if you're a sniper and you're having a pistol as a secondary, then your back is completely clean. And if you're on a bush or something, or if you're just in the overall darkness, this is a pretty good setup. But again, if you're sniping somebody, if you have a sniper glint and you're having a sniper scope, it's kind of giving it away. But if they actually see you and you see your face, it's a lot easier for them to make out, wait, is that an actual person? Or is that a bush? Or is that a dead body? If they can't see your face, it makes it that much more difficult. Not like a tremendous amount, but it adds effect. So if there's only a free thing they'll add in the battle pass, but they add someone with a ghillie suit like Gollum, and you know, like a ghillie suit version of Kruger, oh my god, that's the one I'd be running all the time. But I have to say, the one for Gollum, his finishing moves, this is just fucking like, wow, just get out of my face. I just killed you. No big deal. Move, get out of my way. He's just so fucking badass, so cold. I think his is my personal favorite for the coalition, and then this is just overkill. This is just like, the fuck. Not this one, but I'll show you this one anyway. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, that's cold. I like the Captain Price one, but I think this was my favorite one. It's just dirty. Stomping him in the face and just throwing him around like a ragdoll. It's pretty bad. Bush League is very feminine to me, with whacking him with sticks kills him. Nah. Crow in the face, even if he eats his eyeball, wouldn't actually kill you. Dog ripping off the throat definitely would. You know, someone stabbing you multiple times when basically ensuring you'll bleed out, but then finishing him off with a pistol. It's overkill, but it's nice. But yeah, that is it. I think I've covered everything I need to cover. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and I do have a Patreon if you want to help me support there. We're more than happy to help me out making better content with better equipment, with a better mic, and so on and so forth. I think the best headset you should also be running is Astros A40 with the mix amp. That's my personal preference. I think Turtle Beach is kind of like Nike. It's a brand, but it's really, you're selling the brand versus the quality, quantity versus quality. So I think lastly I forgot to include was, where was I going with this? Mic setup, and there's the that cool control that has the bumpers. That's for increasing your gameplay even further. I'm not a sponsor for them. I'm just saying those are my personal preferences because it seems the most efficient, the best, you know, for pro. Yeah, I think that covers it. If you guys want to join Buck, let me know. You guys can try out. Someone had stolen my custom clan tag, my regiment clan tag, so I had to get creative with the Buck, with the K sign. They're not a part of Buck, but because a lot of people get jealous at my underground, like Elite Underground clan, they try to like copy it, so that it's kind of like Trump. You got Trump, someone who pretends they're Trump on Twitter, and then you have to put the real or the true because someone stole your actual name, you know. So people out there are just assholes and trolls and whatever, so you gotta get creative, get clever, try to represent. Alright, anyway, peace out, much love, peace.